Hey there and happy Tuesday. Sorry for that little bit of delay. My one son took my iPad to Mexico for the flight and watching movies. And so I was trying to do a different device. It just isn't working. So I'm just going to go live and I'll try and watch for comments and questions as I get going if you have them. So yes, feel free to comment and ask questions because I will check for that. So I am starting a new series this week. Dawn Earlbeck is going to be my virtual hostess this week. So I'm putting together this card as well as two more to demo for her party. And I'm excited about that. And so thank you also for those of you that came out over the weekend for my open house. It was a great day and it was so fun to see so many of you take time to come out of your day. And some of you that stayed till the end or were here at the end got to see my brand new little granddaughter, Madison. So that was kind of a thrill for some of you. And I love that my daughter-in-law takes the time to bring the three littles over. It was fun to watch their eyes look at, like, what is Grandma's house rearranged for? What are all these people in Grandma's house for? And there's a submarine card. Weston wants to make that submarine card so bad. So they made cards with the help of Lisa. Big shout out to Lisa too for being my number one helper that day. Well, it's hard to tell if she was number one or if Dwayne was number one. They were both number ones in my mind. They tied for first place for helping me make Saturday a successful day. So thanks for that too. So yeah, it was just great to see the excitement of an open house. I know a lot of you look forward to that as much as I do too. So so here we are for those of you popping on right now. So we've got this card and I'm going to swap my camera around here for a different view so that you can see the card a little bit better. So I'm actually casing a card today that I have noticed and I thought, oh, you guys will love this. And it's never a bad thing to case other people's designs, especially when I know my people and what you guys like to look at. And if I like to look at it, often it's something that I'm excited to show you guys. Hi there, Darla. And so today's card is actually cased from Jay Soriano, and he is from the UK. And I love the soft aspects. There's a lot of textures in today's card. And so hopefully you can follow along and do that. It's not that it's a hard card. It's just that there's all these little elements to put together. And sometimes those are a good card for me to do virtually versus you guys doing in a stamp camp situation. Because at first when I saw this card, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do this for one of my classes in person for you guys. And as I kind of made it, I'm like, yeah, you guys would have easily worked through making this card. It's not that it's hard. It's just like you might have went, oh, Belle, what are you doing with all these little steps in there? And sometimes that is what puts people over the edge. And sometimes that is what makes people love making the card, is all the little things too. Hi, Pam. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Cindy. Good to have you guys on here. So, let me just show you where the products are coming from. So I'm reaching into the annual catalog today on page 38. And I love this very best occasions. And just recently I went, is that still current? It is still current. Sometimes I think I do a lot like with the Christmas in there. And I love this size and font of the happy birthday. So I do a lot with that. And today we're using the thinking of you and with comfort and love. And I love the font on there because it's just soft, like the card is too. So yeah, this was one that came out in like a mini catalog like a year and a half ago, and I'm glad that it's still around just because it's one of those sets that you can pair with pretty paper, which I'm doing today, or it just fits so many different occasions. It's a good stamp set to have on hand. Because I think we all think, okay, once we have those word stamp sets, it makes everything else stretch that much further, if you agree with that, I think. Hi there, Kay. Good to see you on here. I wasn't sure, since I'm coming a little bit earlier in the day than I normally do, how many people would be available. So I'm glad to see some names there. All right, so from the celebration brochure on page 6, we've got that Flight and Airy Designer Series paper, and I know you guys love that. How do I know that? Because it's a very popular choice when you guys are picking out what you want for free as well there too. So I've got that going, and so I've got that, and let's see, I think that was it for things that I kind of wanted to highlight and show you until I get going, and of course then I'll show you some more. So these colors, I think that's what was impressive too for Jay when he was putting together his card. I'm like, these are colors that I would not put together. So as I copy his card, I was very impressed with how they came together. So he's using some Lost Lagoon today for the card base that I'm copying from him, for those of you just joining. And then this is Balmy Blue and Garden Green. And so they all kind of come together to match the designer series paper. But what's interesting is like the Balmy Blue is not listed as one of the colors used on the back side. So for those of you that know me well, know that I love going to the back side of my designer series paper. Well, number one, I love using designer series paper. Hardly ever do I make a card that doesn't use it, every once in a while, but that's usually my focal point. So when I was looking here, there's no Lost Lagoon on there, there's no Balmy Blue on there, and there's no Garden Green. Oh, nope, there is Garden Green. Oh, there's Lost Lagoon. Oh, so the only one, okay, that's what I thought. I thought I saw it. Okay, forgive me. So Balmy Blue. I think I'm still recovering from my open house brain. Okay, so the only one on there is not, the only one that is not on there is the Balmy Blue, but I love how that all pairs together so well. But like I said, these are colors that I would not naturally grab and use all together. So that's kind of fun. Hey there, Barb. To get started, I'll give you some measurements. So this is just my regular card base here opening. So we've got the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then that pretty paper cut from the Flight and Airy here. So you can see I've loved this well because there's lots of scraps in there. So the Flight and Airy 12 by 12, I cut a section that's 5 1/2 by 3 inches across. And then I've also cut my Balmy Blue here 5 1/2 inches, and that's going to be 3 1/4 across. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my adhesive here and tap some of that out and put that on here. Okay, and this is where I was like, if I'm doing something as I'm making my initial card, I have to get this out to show you what I do. If you guys ever are putting these things together and go, I can never get, you know, like the top or, you know, just that lined up. So I've shown this a few times, but I haven't for a while. And I've got some new YouTube followers on my video channel. And one lady says, oh, I love that you're using DSP. It's like, oh, lady, you're in for a treat. I use it all the time. Okay, so I just butt up my my cardstock there, and it's nice and thick, so it just goes right across there. And then I just eye to make sure that that's even, and then there we have it. So then this lines up perfectly across there too. It's just my little hint or tip just to make things even up that way. Hi, Shelly. Oh, you love this paper too. That's good to know. All right, since there's no ribbon going around this, there's a couple different kinds of ribbon, but not around that. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this one down as well, like so. And I could do that same technique, but I'm just like, you know what, now that it's a little bit thicker by putting that designer series paper on there like so, I think we'll be good. And then sometimes I tip it over and go, okay, that's good. There's just the littlest bit hanging over here. That's not terrible. Sometimes if there's enough of an edge, I will take my scissor and just trim that off or whatever. And I can show you how I do that. It's a lot easier to do it this way. Sometimes if I try it with my trimmer, I end up getting like it kind of butted up against there, and it smushes the paper, the pretty paper or the cardstock, and that's not fun either. So this is an easy way to just trim and see what's left on the outside. And even then, sometimes there's just that little bit of fluff that doesn't like to get trimmed off, like so. Okay, yeah, I think, oh, that's not going to take long. Kind of like haircuts sometimes. I love to give my family haircuts, and so it's just there's always that one that's like, okay, there we go. Now you know my other superpower, giving haircuts, right? All right. Okay, so I've got that there, and then next what I'm going to do, I think, is work on building up my little bird. That's going to be the focal point pretty much. So when you see this pretty paper, look at this, you guys. I don't know if it was like Clinique makeup brand for a while there. They had like little birds or something within their like their makeup bag and their line that they were highlighting. So that's what this reminds me of for some reason. I don't know if I'm even on to that or not, but that's what these birds remind me. So I'm just going to take and cut this out. But look at all the little birds that you have here that you can cut out. And somebody did recently ask, now, are there any dies for any of those birds? So I'm going to cut away here while I answer that question. There are not. And so recently Stampin' Up! Came out with that second release of celebration products. And sometimes, well, first off, that was a huge surprise. We didn't know that that was coming. And then sometimes they surprise us with, hey, here's some dies that coordinate with this or that. And it is always fun when Stampin' Up! Comes up with dies that do cut out images that are in their paper already. So that's kind of fun. But this time around, no to that. So you want to hear something that made my day. I don't see Deb on here. Deb often watches my videos. My stamping friend Deb came to my open house, and this probably made my day more than any other comment out of the day. One of the projects required cutting, just like you took your sentiment, which I'll do here, and then you just snip off the end to make it the length you want. And another project had some linen thread that they were going to tie around to make a knot and snip that off. She was kind enough to say, Belle, do you have the correct scissors laid out? Because as you guys watch my videos, you know that this special one only cuts ribbon, and this one cuts anything paper or otherwise related. So I thought it was so sweet. And I said, well, I kind of didn't use these exact scissors. I probably had this one down there because of his paper, but I thought, oh, sometimes if I, go, this one's been cutting ribbon long enough, if it gets messed up, then it becomes my paper cutting little scissors or whatever too. But I thought how sweet that people that know crafting know how important it is to keep those scissors apart, and that's kind of a fun comment of the day. All right, so before I put this one on, this bird on, I've grabbed just like a little 3-inch strip of the Stampin' Up! Vellum and this decorative label punch here from the annual catalog. I love this. I was going to do a circle. The card that I'm copying used a circle, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to change it up and just do this decorative circle. I just love that, just a little extra flair on there. I think it adds so much. And now this I'm going to take and tip over and put a couple, just 2 dimensionals on there. And the back side has kind of the same design here, but kind of like in a petal pink, calypso coral pattern like that. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should do the card like that. But then I realized, well, what are we going to cut our birds out of, right? So then I thought, okay, that's not going to work. So I'm just kind of eyeing this and going, okay, that's where the bird's going to go. And now I'm going to set this aside while I build up another piece here. And this is just a piece of balmy blue. Hi there, Donna. And that's going to be about 4 inches by 1 inch here, that balmy blue. So it's the same color as the strip in the background here. And I love this trim. Let's see, wavy trim, here it is, and that's from the annual catalog too. And kind of interesting, it came out with the fishing. Here we got all these. Why do I have all these little strands? Okay, this must have been what was left from my last one. Okay, so it came out with that fishing suite from the annual catalog. I'm just going to push this into my mini dots as I go. Whoops. Okay. Where do I want to cut this? And I'm surprised how many times I have used this wavy trim and it's not being used with that suite of products. And so it's just been a really fun ribbon to have because it gives such great texture. Okay, so now I know how long I want it. So I'm just going to take and put a glue dot underneath there and pull it off. And I'm going to do one in the middle too. So I'm just going to go like so and pull that off like that. All right, now hopefully I can get this lined up halfway even across my little strip there. Da, 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 like that. Okay, so now we've got that on there. And the nice thing about the texture and the size of this, it hides those glue dots really well underneath there for adhering that ribbon. So that's a good choice to use for that. And now this is ready to go. I decided not to pop up this layer on the card. So that's just going to go right across, like on the bottom kind of third of the card, like so. And now the bird's ready to go on there. So we all know with vellum, you're not going to just want to go to town and get all of that adhesive on there, because that's going to show on the back. So I flip over my bird, and we're going to strategically place more dimensionals, just a couple more right there. And I also know I did like having an extra one underneath the head of the bird for support. So all of these are strategically placed behind the bird image so that it's not showing there underneath that vellum. And now I can put that on there like so. So now that's starting to come together like that. And now we're going to embellish that here. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my cut and emboss machine, and I have this strip here of garden green, and I have these two little dies here that are kind of just like greenery, and they are from the Natural Prints dies, and these two have been around a while. So if you look at this and go, oh, I know exactly what set that is. This is from the annual catalog. And so today I'm using, you know, new Celebration products with the paper that came out last month, and then just kind of putting all sorts of things that have been around for a while. And so it's not like you have to go out, run out, get everything new, but hopefully you have something new to add to Dawn's party. So that's part of the reason of hosting a party, is hoping somebody's interested in something, and I'm glad that Dawn did. But I think it's just fun to put something together, knowing the people that might be ordering, and something that they will like too. So I have those two, and both of these come in the Natural Prints. I love it when a die set has two of the same type of image or artwork, because then you only have to run it through the one time, and then it's good to go. So let me just get out my mini glue dots here, and I'm just going to put the base of that right on a glue dot like so, and I'll just put that right there, trap it on my glass mat. So that's another reason I like my glass mat. It allows things to stick to it kind of as its temporary resting place, just until I get things set up. Okay, so now I'm going to gently peel these off here, and I can kind of actually stick them together so that they're like that. And then underneath my vellum, I'm just going to take and tuck those like so. So I've got that, and then that just kind of matches the greenery that's coming up and out of those flowers there. So I'm just going to give that a good press. And then when it's, I often do this when it's adhered with mini glue dots and it's my greenery, I give it a little tug, both of them, because sometimes I think it's tucked under and it's stuck well. And if I give it a tug, sometimes it will actually come out. Then I know, nope, it's not tugged or tucked in well enough. So then I just add like another glue dot or redo what I'm doing. So that's always a good test, because it's easier to do while you're making it than having somebody open up their card and their envelope in the mail and go, okay, where was this supposed to be? Okay. So now I'm going to take I have this little strip of white, basic white, and it's 3/4 inches wide, and the length isn't what I'm so concerned about today. I just want to make sure we get the greeting across that, and then I will clip off the extra. And the color that we're using is garden green. So I'm just going to take that, and then again from that Very Best Occasion stamp set, I'm just going to stamp out Thinking of You. And even though this is the red rubber, it's very easy to get that centered and put on that little tiny strip of paper. And then I'm just going to take my paper cutting scissor there and cut that off. So we've got just that little piece there. And now for the back side, I do want this popped up. I am going to take a sliver of this edge here of my dimensionals and just kind of eye it there, because I want kind of a nice big chunk to go across, and I'll show you why here. So I'll take off that backing and have that go across there like so, because I'm going to add some ribbon and I want that to go and stick well to that. So let me put aside my ink pad so I don't get ribbon in there. And what I'm going to do is take my ribbon cutting scissors. Whoops, I don't like that. I want to cut it at a diagonal like so. So I've got that at a diagonal, and then I'm going to then kind of go, right, this is where I want it. And so then I'm going to make sure that there's enough length, but not too much, because it's going to then go off our card. So I've got that, and then now it's sticking into that dimensional, and that gives us a nice kind of anchor. So now that it's stuck, now I know, okay, I'm going to, whoops, wrong scissors, take that next layer. I'm going to trim that first one again. I don't like that. Okay, and so I'm going to take that second layer, same angle, but just a little bit, and actually kind of kink it so it's off to the side a little bit there now too. And now I can take and put that kind of close to the bird, and then make sure that that wavy trim's still showing there. And doesn't that add a soft little touch there? Now, these are sometimes the details. I'll be honest, when I look at a card, I'll go, does that really need to be on there, that little ribbon? Like, that's the first thing that's going to go, because it might take 5 extra minutes of my time, and I just really want to get a card out or design something. But today I thought, man, that just softened everything, like just right on. And so then next I'm going to work on the inside. So from that same Stamp Set Very Best Occasions, there's that to go with Thinking of You. There's the With Comfort and Love. So I'm going to put that on, and you can see that the fonts match up so perfectly. I still feel like this one looks a little crooked, but I think it's because it just needs maybe just a little bit more of a dimensional. So I'm just gonna take, that's what these edges are so lovely for. You can just slice off the tiniest little bit there, and I love taking my Take Your Pick tool, just putting it on there, and then we can just jam that right in the corner there. Now I feel like it's sitting the way it's supposed to. So I'm giving you all sorts of tips and tricks, and I'm sure you guys have done that same thing. Okay, so now I'm just going to tack this down with little pieces of tape there. Okay, With Comfort and Love to go with Thinking of You. And so today's card, I like it because a lot of you have mentioned that you love Thinking of You cards and are also always looking for ideas for sympathy cards. What I like about the With Comfort and Love, it doesn't necessarily have to be sympathy. It can be thinking of you, and you're just offering your comfort and love to somebody. And there's so many occasions that people need to send those cards to for that too. And then I thought about embellishing because you guys know how I love to embellish. And even in here, and I'll point out what I almost use, because you could, those free from Celebration Opaque Faceted Gems. We've got the pinks and the Calypso Coral, which is a nice pink to tie in with those flowers, and then also the Pool Party gems in there too. But I just thought, man, there's so much texture with all of those things. I think I might leave it, which is unusual for me. But if you're thinking, oh, yep, I'm going to get this card, and the first thing I'm going to do is add those gems on myself, that is totally fine too. I don't think it would look wrong with it or be too much either. But for today, I'm just going to leave it as that. So there you have it. And here is Dawn's host code. And some people have asked me, you know, I just celebrated my 28th anniversary of Stampin' Up. What got you started? And I said, I think what got me started is a couple of things, is the coordination of the colors, but I couldn't say that's my initial thing. Maybe that's what's kept me going, because initially Stampin' Up didn't have designer series paper. They didn't have near the amount of colors even in their lineup, and things have changed a lot. But I think just having, I'm terrible at artwork. I can't draw like a stick figure to save my life or anything. And so having things, the images stamped out for me. And as you can see, I even struggle. Like, here's my huge W. So Dawn's WSQZ4BGR code, like I can't even space that out well. So that tells you how reliant I am on the great artwork that Stampin' Up! Puts together for us and for me especially. So if you are interested then in ordering from Dawn's Party, you'll get not only the card that I made today, but the cards that I'll make, I'm hoping for tomorrow and the next day to do 2 more. So that'll be my series of 3 for her online party. And so just a minimum $25 order towards her party using that code will get you the 3 cards I've made. And also just keep in mind it's celebration. So if you're thinking, okay, I need a little bit more, that might benefit you as well as Dawn, because then you can pick out something free from the celebration choices, not only from the brochure, but those new additions that came out just recently too. So hopefully you enjoyed today's card. I'm looking forward to narrowing down my other choices for the next couple days as well. So take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.